brought up then.
All right, we are.
No.
But I think those were literally ether primals of the 12. But I guess they haven't because what he was using was Tube Samadhi, which is an ether
That's
manipulating tool.
true. That is true. Yeah, I don't know. It could be either way.
All right.
So many interesting theories.
Yeah. Because I think you can still make primals out of anything.
Yeah. Oh, yes, definitely.
So.
And that's
So
probably
when-
why they. It's probably why they didn't succeed.
Right.
They weren't the proper stuff.
All right, we are live.
All right. Let us
Let
know,
us know
folks,
if
when you
you
can see.
see and hear us.
I have one job on this
Hello.
podcast.
I'm sorry. No, you don't.
That's okay.
You have 70 million.
No, that's you, darling.
Okay.
You have more.
Why'd it go dark? Oh,
I don't know. Oh, well, Kelser can see us. Yay.
I was like, why is it so dark in this corner? All right.
I love you, honey.
Mm.
You're very cute.
I have a bit of extra light over here as well. Easier to see.
I need to use that RTX always looking at your camera
Right.
tech that I saw a post for.
That sounds creepy, though.
All right.
It does look kind of creepy. People were like, "Whoa, this is so cool! It looks like you can always be looking at your viewers," and I was like, it seems a little too artificial for me. And the moment that you blink that one time and you can see the edges of your face blinking, but not your eyes, people are going to be like, "Ah, lizard person."
That is weird.
I see us on Twitch. I don't hear
good.
us on Twitch.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I hear us.
Yours?
You hear us
Yeah.
on Twitch?
Do you not hear us?
Testing 1 2. Test 1 2.
I hear us.
All right.
Yep, I heard that.
Oh, that's
Okay.
weird. I wonder why I can't. Oh, it's because my volume's not going through my headphone.
Right. That's I just did the same thing. On the...
But you're cute.
Yes, I know, Razor Central, you have something for me, but I don't have anything for you. All right, there's the speakers test.
Oh, I guess I don't have game tonight. 1 second.
Oh no!
Oh, okay. Oh.
What happened?
Chris is a brand new father.
Ah. Well, I mean, that would do it. Okay. All right, we have a Twitch channel. Mew can hear us. Do we have a chat room yet?
We have a name that
Yay.
I'm not even going to try to pronounce because
Goisey Rum.
I know.
there you go. Sure.
Guessy Rum.
Ethereum?
Mew, you are leading this monkey show.
It's your monkey show, boo.
Oh no.
Welcome to
We are
2023.
doomed. Yay.
Define interesting. Oh my god. Oh my god. We're all gonna
Going
die.
to die.
No.
No. Maybe.
No,
You have
that's
a lot
me.
of-
That's me literally stepping into anything dealing with story progression.
I'm gonna let my child know that I do not have game tonight.
Seen a lot of
I mean, I know we'll get to
wishing
it.
everyone will not have interesting lives this year.
Yeah.
Right?
I know we'll get to it in the Final Fantasy 14 talk, but literally, wow, I am bad at running dungeons, instances, whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The new one's
died.
hard.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like I'm joining with basic, like I meet the requirements, but I haven't put materia in or anything like that. So I'm at full health and a boss thing goes off that I should be able to survive and I'm dead on the floor. I'm like,
Are you hitting mitigation?
yes.
What are you? You're a tank?
No, bard or dancer.
Oh.
So.
Bards and dancers are actually kind of squishy because they are not designed to be in the fray, so they don't have as much armor. But
Yeah, and
if you're
and, like,
dying to AoEs, that means that your gear doesn't have enough stamina on it for health.
Probably. I'm at the gear level, not the.
also, I mean,
stamina.
I've been picking people off the floor a ton in the new dungeon, so don't feel too bad.
As I'm overgeared for
Including-
it, so.
The
Yeah.
4-man wasn't bad. The 8-man, good lord.
Well, yeah,
that
it's tough.
that one was tough.
Yeah.
I finally got that stupid table turning mechanic the last time he did it, but every time before that, I hit the floor.
I still haven't figured that out. I
No.
just guessed my way
problem
through it.
is The telegraphs that should be coming seem like it's like telegraph, boom, I'm dead. Like there's
Yeah.
no
That's no
response
good.
time to.
Okay, yeah, because they're relying on like you watching what he's casting or something like
They're
that.
situational
trying-
awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to get you into almost savage mechanics where they don't really give you telegraphs as much.
Yeah.
It's
They
and-
more
tell you where
telegraph
where
as it's
you
happening.
shouldn't have been for
Yeah,
the next time it goes
exactly.
off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
No,
It's
no, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, no,
All right.
it's interesting.
all right. Now that we've had
got to
pre-show,
get good. No, I'm just
Sure.
kidding.
Pre-show.
get better, boo.
No, I just
Yeah.
get.
Well, floor
Yeah,
tank is important role.
you got to make sure that floor stays because some of the floors move.
They
Some
do.
of them spin.
They do that in the new PvP arena.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
go up and smack you in the face. Damn tatami mats.
Yeah. That whole
that's better.
place is crazy.
I haven't done it yet. I need to get in there, especially because I want to get my spheroid mount,
I mean, your watermelon.
my watermelon,
All right.
boozy watermelon.
Everybody ready?
Yep.
Ready?
Yeah.
Check.
Let's go.
Da-da-da.
Meh.
Did a ready
I'm
check
not
and I'm dead
ready.
on the floor.
I'm not ready.
Okay.
I'm not dead yet.
No. It's one of those where, like, ready check. Okay, we're going to start the fight, and the boss goes like that, and I'm dead on the floor.
Mhm.
What happened?
Okay, boo.
You auto shot is what happened.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a bard thing. All right. Let's lead into this craziness. Starting 2023 in 3, 2. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
Happy 2023. Now, back away slowly. We don't want any trouble.
It is time to get our raids, ops, maps, and trials back in order.
Don't forget, Lunar New Year.
Or those ill omens. That's back to the 2023. We don't want any trouble.
And we have Kelsier here to talk to us about AIE in Final Fantasy XIV. Welcome.
Woo!
All that and more coming up right now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
And welcome to episode 398, 2 away from 400, of the podcast celebrating you, the Alea Iacta S gaming community. The Die Has Been podcast. And this is Mew Cow. Greetings, Guildies. And to my left is Makala.
Hey guys, good job finishing up this holiday treats in the guild kitchen. Now, on to Valentine's Day.
Oh, Lord.
You love me.
I know.
And
I've got the vat of chocolate ready.
Excellent. I'll bring the strawberries.
to my virtual right, however, is Tetsemi.
Hey, guildies. How you doing? I have no spreadsheets.
And
I'm done with spreadsheets.
You
right
okay?
now. Yes.
Are you okay?
it's a new year. New year, new
It's a
spreadsheets.
year-
Got
It's a
to.
new year, new attack on gaming. New approach.
I was gonna say there's been an attack on game. That's a whole different podcast.
We're not getting into D&D, all
We're
right?
not getting into
Oh,
that.
no.
No.
Oh, I don't know, you guys.
Worms.
It's not that kind of podcast.
Can of worms crits you for 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen a double crit fail that badly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It just kept explosively critting. It was
Right.
Exactly.
I knew that you could do exploding 10s and roll the darkness. I didn't know that you could do explosive critical 1s in that way. It's not cute.
Yeah, well, Wizards is always showing you new ways to play.
That is very true. And that's the AIE official stance on D&D right now.
Oh no.
And of course, that voice you're hearing is because we are joined by
Hey!
special guest Kelsier. He's going to tell us all about Final Fantasy XIV and what AIE is doing, and maybe some other stuff as well. So welcome in.
Stuff.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be back. It's been a while.
It has.
It has. I went to find your email address to send you notes, and I'm like, what 365? No, that's way too long.
Yeah, exactly.
We would love to have you on more often, my friend.
I'd love to be on, so feel free to send me an invite.
Awesome.
All right. Well, let's see what we've been doing in the last. Oh, geez, it's been a month now.
Yeah, it's been a month.
Maybe more,
over a
and
month.
maybe longer
Yeah.
for Kelsier. Let's see what everyone's been up to, and we'll start with. Let's go with Tetsemi.
What have I been up to?
Yeah.
So, in dice rolling news, I actually joined.
You have dice rolling news?
Yeah, I do. Virtual dice rolling news. I joined McCullough's Call of Cthulhu campaign, and so I am now playing basically a young River Phoenix as a teaching assistant at a university, specializing in archaeology, and trying to now help out and find out why all people are getting abducted and their souls getting put in backwards. Weird stuff going on.
And he's basically playing young Indy Jones. It's fabulous.
Yep.
It's fabulous.
And we had a Final Fantasy XIV patch, which we'll talk about. And we had a lot of WoW content as well. Basically, I settled into WoW. I've got a routine now for WoW. I think I'm at item level 385 or 386. I still need to do my Primal Storms for the week, and then I can get another piece of 385 gear. And as everyone gets notified that Heather closed some rings or something.
Yeah, what are you doing in your seat over there?
She's just talking with her hands and registers.
I've already closed. You guys know I've already closed all my rings today.
I know
Yeah,
it.
two
Just
different
You
awards.
all saw my run and my walk.
I know. And then the patch dropped in Final Fantasy XIV, and for some reason it went all island all the time. Like, there wasn't that much to do on the island, except I got sucked into it, and I'd done the, set your workshops ahead of time and take your pasture and cropland off automation. So I got half of halfway to level 11 last week, as soon as the patch dropped, and then just throughout the week with the workshop and the automation turned off, I got the rest of it. So I'm rank 11 on the island, got the new seeds and planted those, caught 2 of the 3 new rares, and got my not white whale, but basically the rare that I was fighting the hardest for, which was Twinkle Fleece. Like, that thing spawns so rarely. If you miss it, you're out 3-4 days before that thing shows up again. I finally got it.
Dang.
So the only one I don't have is the new Marble, because again, it's the new Twinkle Fleece. It only shows up at a certain time. But I was online with the Discord. I was online with the Discord when we were all like, okay, because no one had seen this thing spawn yet. And they were still trying to figure out what conditions does it spawn on, where does it spawn on the island. And everyone was betting it had to be cloudy, but they were thinking the small spring up on the mountain, because there was no spawns up in that area. And it turns out it was down at the foot of that mountain where it spawned.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, and so somebody tweeted out from either Japan or China that they found it, and then Lala Achievements tagged where it was, and then everyone showed up, and the next time it spawned, we're like, okay, it should be here, and just screenshots of everyone trying to capture it and stuff. So it was fun.
That's awesome.
It was one of those, almost like the WoW
That
secret
real
finding.
community.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's super cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, Boo.
So that was fun. But like I said, yeah, I've got my island in maintenance. I did make it through the MSQ, so I'm current. I think I counted 14 deaths between the two dungeons. So I'm living
Floor
up to my
tanking.
standard of floor tanking. Yes, I'm
Oh,
filling
right. So I think you're trying to.
Kenny in Final Fantasy 14.
I was like, you're trying to steal Kenny's job.
Yeah.
Because she's not in this game yet, so you're trying to. Got it. I like it.
Yeah, and
Which
it didn't
way back
matter.
when you
Bard or Dancer still died the same amount. Dancer, I can pay a little bit more attention because I'm not trying to make sure all my songs and buffs are up. But
Yeah.
all right, but that's what mainly I've been up to, having fun.
Cool. Now, let's see. In reverse order, that means that McCall is next.
All right. Well, Ted joined our Call of Cthulhu game, so he literally is joining the insanity.
You know, I heard about that.
Yeah, we're getting a little. We're digging closer into the mystery. That is. I'm not going to talk about it too much because it's actually a published module, A Time to Harvest. So never know if anybody's playing it. It's one of the newer modules. Takes place in Miskatonic. But we're getting a little closer into the mystery, what's going on. I think we're starting to get some answers, which is great. We're only on the second chapter. It has like 6 chapters to it. And stuff's getting real deadly. I think things are gonna get real ugly real quick. And it's Call of Cthulhu, so either you spend half your time in the library or you spend your time drinking. Sometimes both.
And then now you both can say we're all mad here.
Exactly. Star Wars campaign's getting real interesting. But sometime last year we pissed off the Pikes, kind of double crossed them. Good times. And then they kidnapped our foster kids. Out of revenge, and then okay, you guys can take care of this. You have to do some jobs for us. The first job was a pretty simple one. It was steal some raw spice, some non-processed spice, which can be used. Spice can be used the way you process it. It can be used for medicine or it can be used for drugs. You need to steal that from the Republic. We work for the Republic. All right, fine. Got 2 kids held hostage. Fine. Do that. Pretty easy job, right? They're like, okay, here's your second. So we get one of the kids back. Our Wookiee. All right, so here's your other job. You need, there's this really fancy, basically, it's pretty much the equivalent of the Titanic on its maiden voyage. Galactic cruiser. All the dignitaries are on it. This really galactic famous musicians on there. Here's your tickets to get aboard the ship. All you need to do is once it goes into hyperspace, implant this spike into the system. That's all you need to do. So we do. Actually, not even once it goes. Not even when it goes. Once it goes into orbit, you plant the spike. So we do. It goes into hyperspace. It seems to be going towards Coruscant in a crash, in a very violent manner. And we're talking like Mon Mothma's daughters on this ship. We have some important.
Oops.
Lots of important dignitaries. Also on this ship is a exhibit from a galactically famous archaeologist who had found some weird stuff at a Sith temple, like you always friggin' do. And by the way, it's here. So yeah, we were the patsies. Basically, we were supposed to implant the spike so this ship could crash into Coruscant. Beforehand, before we realized exactly what was going on, my character with psychometry is like, hey, let me touch that. Let me figure out what's going on with that artifact. Horrible visions. And now I can't touch the Force without using the dark side. Oh, by the way, there's something that's affecting my character so badly, because she's kind of the queen of denial. Like, my poor DMs finally realized to get her to do anything that has to deal with her past or anything with her family, he has to force her hand. We have the ship that my character's mother was on, was at one point on this planet. They wanted to get information from this planet. Great. And then I start getting visions of a horrible thing that's like, I'm getting visions of myself. I'm drowning. And then I hear a voice in my head saying, oh, I'm waiting for you. It's like I'm unstable. I get strained. I'm exhausted. My connection to the force is unstable. It's great. So I'm dealing with this now. I've touched this thing, and like, okay, you can't use the force period without tapping to the dark side. Great. So of course we end up. Oh yes, and then my clone showed up. Because that's how they got through some of the stuff. And by the way, her job, they're working for the Pikes, is to steal this artifact. So we had 3 groups. Our group was to implant the spike. The second group was members of the crew that they constricted to rob everybody to make it look like that's what was actually going on. And then the real job was to get the artifact. So we did stop them from getting the artifact. We did save everybody.
Yay!
Pretty awesome.
Yay!
Yeah, great. So we're not able to save the ship, but we can save everybody else. We get everyone on escape pods because they did not make the same mistake of the Titanic. There was enough escape pods. My clone gets off, is able to actually get her own escape pod, so she gets out before I can have a chat with her. We get back to Coruscant. We check in because we're special ops with the head of special ops. Oh, by the way, your commander's really mad at you because someone happened to give them footage of you turning over 200 metric tons of spice to the Hutts.
Oops.
So the first job was just a setup to, so now we're and then of course we're like, great, we escape Coruscant, literally being pursued by X-Wings. We get to, Tatooine because we now need to get something to hide our ship signal. Contact the Pikes. Hey, we did the job for you. Give us our kid back. No, you failed. Yeah, because we were supposed to die. They intended for us to die. So that's been my fun in Star Wars, and
Woo.
I could go on, but yeah, it's a good time. It's a real good time.
Cool.
And another various dice rolling, and we had a Yule party for the first time since 2019. So I had to remember how to throw a big party, a bigger party. 30 instead of 50 to 60. So it was way smaller, but
yeah,
it was
yeah. There's a
challenge.
little bit of that going around. Yeah, it's like it's weird going into stores and you're like, there's people nearby, but like, it's kind of okay.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. At least we're past the part of the year where there's too many people nearby. Because December was really
Rough.
It was crowded.
Yeah.
It was crowded.
Yeah.
I stayed out of the stores still. Not quite at that point, but yeah. Anyway, good to hear from you. But let's see what also is going on with Kelsier since we've last, like, in detail, everything that's happened since we've last seen you.
Everything for the last 300 or 32 episodes.
Yes.
My brain just rebooted. Oh
Right.
shoot. I lost all of it.
Went for overflow. We now have admin access.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I'm actually part of 2 D&D games since we were just talking about that kind of thing. It's somewhat unfortunate right now, but anyway, they're going to continue being D&D games for now.
We love the game. We love the community. Just we're
Exactly.
a little pissed off at Hasbro right now.
Yep.
So one is I'm running, and one I'm actually doing with some AIE peeps.
Awesome.
But so that's been really fun, and friends of AIE peeps. So that's been really cool. Lately I've been playing obviously Final Fantasy 14. But I've also, you go and you think, you go for a while, like 2 years, you think you're clean, and then you stumble upon a cover for a song for the video game that you thought you were clean from, and you're like, oh. So I'm also back in Final Fantasy 11. So
I made the mistake of playing that a little bit last year, and luckily got clean of it again.
I'm enjoying it so far, so I won't be. But yeah, like it is a sickness, but it's a fun sickness. That's mainly been what I've still playing Monster Hunter, a little less. The grind is kind of intense right now on Monster Hunter Rise, so haven't been engaging with that one as much. But yeah, that's been me. really funding Creative Business Unit 3. That's the small indie company that can't afford a good naming company,
Right.
a naming service.
Yep. 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 They just get the job done. They don't worry about all the other fancy stuff. Well,
It's still funny seeing that logo in their games, like by Creative Business Unit 3. It's like, oh.
It means business though.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
For me, let's see. I have been playing a bit of the WoWs. I am actually casually raiding in WoW again.
Oh,
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
With an older team of mine that I've still for some reason was considered a raid leader in. So because I was the first character I really started playing the most on was my warrior, which is my tank, which is actually the tank for that team, and I hadn't touched the warrior like in any of Shadowlands. I actually had stopped playing the warrior when BFA was over, and because that's about the time I was like, at the time, we were all really deep into WoW. I had 3 raid teams going at a time,
Right.
because I had FERT, I had H&H, and then I had this other team, which is actually on CTR, our sister
Sibling
guild.
Sibling guild.
Yeah, sibling guild. But yeah, when things came around, see, I had done the pre-patch stuff and gotten all of my main characters up, including the warrior, and then just playing the warrior just felt like a lot of fun with the pre-patch. Like I liked the way they had it set up. So that was the first character I worked on and got to the new max level, and of course the team's looking over like, hey, notice you're playing your character again. What you doing? What you doing at this time? It's like, I mean, yeah, technically I could join. I'm not in 4 different teams anymore. So yeah, we've been casually raiding the new raid, which is actually a lot of fun, and
Awesome.
we're not pushing hard. It's it's definitely it's not quite at FERT pace, but a little bit faster than FERT pace. We are, I think, 5 of 8 right now in normal, which when I'm sure
that's good.
tons of it. Yeah, there other teams have already been pushing into heroic, and of course,
Hey.
Mythic World first.
Right.
But we're just enjoying ourselves, and that's the thing. Like, we even took a week off, saying, you know what, I think we need better gear for this boss. Let's everyone just take the week off and do some dungeons, do some world quests, and it helped. Like, we came back and one shot things like crazy. Like, it was definitely a gear issue. So yeah, that's been that, jumping on, and now I'm at a point now where world quests don't help my gear anymore, so I almost don't bother.
Yeah.
I go check out the world boss, who's only going to give me primal stuff. They don't actually have gear on the world bosses anymore, just in case you're wondering.
I can confirm 2 years, no drops.
Yeah, they just don't drop stuff. So it's you get some rep and you get some of that primal chaos stuff for crafting. That's basically about it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting. They have that weekly quest in Valdrakken that's like, get some rep and do this thing.
Yeah.
Get some rep and do this thing, and it's actually
I love doing
smart.
It's great. Yeah.
Because it's reminding you, by the way, there's all these other big events that you can do weekly as well.
Yeah.
And get stuff from. So it's like, go check out the Wild Hunt. Go help the Tuskar cook a big pot of stew.
Yep.
Soup.
Yes, chef.
Which took me, yes, it took me the longest time. I was out because I've been in a couple of those, and I'm like, why is everyone shouting yes, chef? I know what it means. I know why, but like, why are they saying it so quickly? And eventually,
you click the button.
Yeah, eventually the button pops up. You're like, what is this? Click, and then your character says yes, chef, and you do a thing. You're like, oh, well, that could have used some explanation instead of just standing there.
100%.
That's the one downside to world quests and whatnot, is they don't have any like explanation of what you're supposed to be doing. It's just help with the soup. It's literally all it says. Help with soup.
Yeah,
that's it. So yeah, but yeah, no, it's that's the thing is now with the fact that the world quest cadence is twice a week,
which is
I don't feel
amazing.
like I don't feel like I have to be in there every day working a job. That's
exactly
why I stopped playing Final Fantasy XI, was because it became a job. That's why I stopped playing WoW, because it became a job. Like, when it becomes a job, it's time to walk away. I know that this weird concept, but games are for fun.
Yeah.
Right,
have
right, yeah.
fun. So
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
really
that's what
removed
I've.
the FOMO because, like, with the patch dropping for Final Fantasy 14, normally Tuesdays are a lot of get in, get the, get that 3,000 rep quest,
Mhm.
start on the Primal Storms, run a wing of LFR, that whole thing. But this week I was like, you know what? I'm focused on Final Fantasy 14, and if I miss out on, uh, you know, a few days worth of rep, okay, like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
mm,
I am not in a hurry. I
no,
think I'm only like level 16 with the dragons, and that's my highest.
okay,
Like I'm not pushing. Like
no,
it makes the game a lot more enjoyable, and you
yeah,
pop on, you can do some fun stuff,
Absolutely.
and then you can walk away.
Yeah.
exactly.
You
No,
Yeah.
no
don't
Even
feel
if
like you're
pressure.
leaving something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I'm kind of treating Final Fantasy 11. It's like I just want to play Blue Mage. That's all I want to do. So,
Yep,
like
which is its
I want to
own
I want to
thing.
finally finish the story. That's what and if I get into endgame stuff, cool. But I probably not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
I
maybe.
I kind of did things backwards with Final Fantasy 14 in the last week. So Tuesday the patch came out. And so what I did is I actually participated in this big streamer event,
Hmm.
where we all kind of piled in, and it was two full alliance raids,
hmm.
pre set up, and we did the new alliance raid,
Oh, that's so
I
and
haven't
cool.
done that yet. How is it?
Awesome.
Awesome.
it is
As
so
I
fun.
say in my notes, if you are a fan of violins or fiddles, you are gonna love this
Okay.
Nice.
patch.
Like they definitely knocked it out of the park with the music. The new characters are amazing, but we can go into more detail of that. But
I was
yeah,
I was
Yep.
gonna say because I need to know where to pick up the quest that points you in that direction because I didn't get it.
there's a,
Mordona. It's
yeah, it's
it's right
outside.
outside of
Yeah,
Mordona.
down the street. You gotta go find the dude under the tree.
Okay. Oh, the tree
Derek.
dude. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Derek with a Y.
Yeah.
Um,
Gotcha.
but yeah, that's how I started my week. Was the second the patch went live, which it went the servers were open an hour earlier. That's why I was able to actually participate. Normally,
Right.
it opens at about like 6 a.m. my time. That's not going to happen.
Right.
But it opened up at 4. I normally go to bed around 6, so I was able to jump in, and it was oddly smooth. I mean, it helped that it was basic, like I said. What's that? 18 and 18, 36 people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Is that right? Or am I
Yes.
counting wrong?
Yeah, that's the
No,
No,
reason.
that's
eight,
right.
888 is 24, isn't it? Normally
It's
Oh,
a
24.
yeah, it's a
24, 24,
man.
Oh,
48.
yeah.
So yeah, so 48 people. So it was a bit of chaos to get. It was like herding cats to get everything going, of course.
Yeah.
Right, right.
And then add to the fact that almost everyone is a streamer. So
Oh
you
my
have all of these
gosh.
streamer personalities, just
Oh, that's hilarious.
chaos.
Right.
So yeah, you should. I mean, there's video up of it, but and we're all trying to like get our little, because everyone had, you have to have a theme, like you have to have a group theme.
Right.
And so it's just funny to see, like, if you happen to stumble into Old Charlian, you just suddenly saw these groups of people in these weird themed outfits, and you're like, what is
What
going
is
on
going
here?
on?
Like, what
Yeah.
is this?
Which there was, like, it was just funny to watch, just random passerby. What is going on here?
Funny.
It's
Yeah.
an alliance. It's an alliance raid. Don't worry about it. But yeah, no, it was fun chaos. It was a lot of good players. Like we had some deaths. I
Mhm.
made the brilliant idea of bringing my red mage. I've been very comfortable with red mage lately. Like
Mhm.
it's kind of becoming my main. It used to be bard, but red
Right.
mage, and it's great because you're a res mage, and
Yeah.
it's you know
Hey.
it's, when you're blind progging an alliance raid, being able to scoop people off the floor, and
Yeah.
that's what I love about alliance raid is it's 3 groups of 8. So not only can you scoop your own people off the floor, but you can help other teams when they've hit
Yeah.
something big over there in the
You are
corner.
down, Group B.
Yes, which happened
Instant
a couple
res.
times.
Yep.
But the thing is, that's the cool thing is you can pick it up. Like it's they don't punish you.
Right.
It's like, no, let's just scoop them back up. Yeah, they have a debuff for a little while, but no big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was so fun. I'm looking forward to jumping in there again next week. They have great transmog in there. The characters are amazing. The voice acting, the music, like yeah. But
Awesome. Yeah.
and then I went into MSQ and all the other stuff.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's nice. Like I do Alliance Raid Tuesday, then Wednesday I do WoW Raid, Thursday WoW Raid, Friday I did MSQ. Like it's Nice to be able to jump back and forth. I feel like like the old WoW, I got burnt so easily because you have to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's there's still a little bit like I'm still kind of annoyed that you have to do Mythic Plus if you want to have any chance to get decent gear. But once you get into the raid treadmill, so to speak, then you don't have to rely on Mythic Plus as much. But you know, it still kind of bugs me. But the funny thing is my time in Final Fantasy 14 made me a better player. I came back to WoW and I just steamroll stuff now because Final Fantasy forced me to be a better player. So,
isn't that interesting to see that? Like I've noticed that too. Like when you go, even like in Final Fantasy 14, like you go to a class you haven't played in a while, and you're like, oh, like I was really bad at this before, and now it's just all clicking together.
Yeah,
I know it's like training your brain, but yeah, that's pretty much been that. And you know, of course, we have the Christmas holidays, all the fun stuff. Like,
right.
You know, but yeah, that's probably enough out of me. So why don't we talk about the thing we've already been talking about?
Right.
After we talk about this week's news.
AIE News.
All right, guys, it's been a hot minute, so let's go ahead and give you those mandatory fun night schedules. And folks, if we have the times or dates wrong, let us know so we can get those updated as soon as possible. All right, we have Sunday, All WoW Classic at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Monday, Guild Wars 2 at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, of course. Tuesday, SOTOR at 9 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday, you can rest. Wednesday's the day of rest. Who knew? Thursday, Final Fantasy 14 Sprout Raid at 10 p.m. Eastern. Thursday, STO at 11 p.m. Eastern. Friday, ESO at 9 p.m. Eastern. Friday, Final Fantasy 14 Mount Farming, various times. Usually starts around 8 p.m. Eastern or later. Times may vary, depending. Saturday, Lotro at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Saturday, Final Fantasy 14 maps at 9:30 Eastern. And we wrap it up with Saturday, the Noob Raid in WoW, 11 p.m. Eastern.
Yep. And speaking of streaming, we have a ton of AIE member podcasts and streams. You want to know where to find them? Well, congratulations. We have the info. The SOTOR Escape podcast is at New Overlords. Behind the Games podcast, also at New Overlords, both.com. Working Class Nerds is workingclassnerds.com. Actually, workingclassnerds.wordpress.com. I don't know why it's so complicated, but
words are hard.
If you go to boardsandswords.com, you get the Boards and Sword podcast. Dr. Gameology is at drgameology.com. And our very own Greebog and Nicodemus run the Fleet Action Report on YouTube. It's at Fleet Action Report. They get enough followers, and they actually have their own channel now, so congrats on that. And Podcast Reborn, speaking of Final Fantasy 14, it's a community podcast with Brandon, a.k.a. Old Man Franks, Megan, and Ro. And just a reminder, both the Podcast Reborn and Working Class Nerds are not safe for work.
Alrighty, over in the land of the nomads, or you know wherever the nomads may roam, New World. AIE has a handful of people checking in each week as the overall population of our world continues to grow and the recent reviews continue to remain high. The new zones and holiday content were a highlight. It is quiet, but if anyone wants to check it out, they just need to ask, and we can get you into the AIE company. Probably Duras, right? He seems like he likes to live in that area.
Yes.
And of course, we have a little bit of information on Nomad Sky. They are wrapping up their end-of-year expedition because it's the beginning of the year now. It's a fun way to see the game, however, so check that out. And over in Lost Ark, the other Amazon game, the AIE presence has been reduced to one guild, which is good. It's always nice when everybody can be in one spot. Membership is still open for anyone to join. As always, drop a request in the Low Stark Discord channel. Once you've submitted an application, activity is low for the game, so you might want to use Discord to find partners for activities. The game's roadmap for 2023 includes a new continent next month, while the January update going live on the 18th features a special themed Witcher event with various cosmetics. It says rich opportunity to discuss all the Netflix Witcher drama.
Oh, there's so much drama right now.
Oh no, I didn't hear about
Oh.
this.
Okay, yeah, no, Henry Cavill left, and yeah, there's drama.
drama.
There's
Yeah.
drama everywhere right now.
One
Yep.
thing on Lost Ark, double check your Steam. There were a bunch of bot bans, and they accidentally banned actual people as well. So if you got banned, there's a ban appeal, and you can get your account restored. So I don't know how widespread it was, but I did see it burble up through the Lost Ark Reddit. So
All right. And in WoW news, now that the holidays are done, New Braid has returned. They're currently working through Wing 1 and 2 of LFR. Unfortunately, due to game restraints, there was an out-level requirement of 359, but in a few weeks, they'll probably be able to dive into normal. And in WoW Classic, acclaimed Old War 10-man, 25-man raid starts next Thursday, with a hard mode available for each boss independently. Current older 10-man content will drop 25-man content to stay relevant. Current 25-man content will drop even more 25-man loot than before. Yay! 5-man dungeons will have a hard mode option for getting better gear, so the old Nax 10-man stuff. To stay relevant, daily 5-man dungeon quests will reward the new tokens and new crafting orb, making it very useful.
Yep. And in SOTOR, the season of Snowballs has come to a close, and they're looking forward to 2023. 2022 brought a lot of infrastructure, UI, and behind-the-scenes revamping, so we're hoping for 2023 will bring us a lot of real cool player-facing content. Showdown on Runic dropped in December, brought a large story chunk, a new planet, new dailies, new reputation track, new achievements, including some hidden ones, and the cinematics that came with this content update have been the best so far. Additionally, a flashpoint and a story beat that we previously thought was just part of a side story is turning out to have tendrils feeding back into the main story. We're waiting for Malgus's next move. Join them on Tuesday nights when we knock out some operations, conquest targets, and galactic season targets. Everyone is welcome. And just as a point that they made in the podcast while we were on break, not while they were on break, there's a 64-bit client being tested on the PTR right now. For those that don't know, the SOTOR client is still 32-bit. So that's coming. Wow. And they're also actively testing Amazon hosted servers for the game as well. So anyone that says SOTOR is dead, they would not be making this level of investment in both a 64-bit client and moving to Amazon web hosting for their servers if the game wasn't going to get more content. So
especially the 64-bit one, because
that's huge.
You could argue it's like, oh, the servers are just cost saving, but like the 64-bit is not.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, over on ESO, mandatory fun nights have resumed after the holiday break, and they are venturing into trials again. The things they have planned for the guild include the next Tales of Tribute tournament starting Monday, January 16th. That might be tomorrow, actually.
Yep. Tomorrow.
Yeah. This time it will only run for 4 weeks and consists of 3 matches per week. Places 1 through 10 will be paid out again, with first place getting 1 million gold. If you are not already registered and you are interested, reach out to Kramer in the Discord, and thank you to Kramer and Drager for funding the event again.
All right, and on STO news, Fed Fleet is days, maybe a week out from starting Tier 5 renewable energy project, which will then let us start the colony major Tier 5 project afterwards. KDF Fleet Starbase Tier 2 is counting down. The dilithium mine is knocking at the door for Tier 3 in completion. Fun nights are still Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Come join and set your phasers to fun.
Wow, he slipped that one in there. That's really good.
That's good. Yeah.
In Guild Wars 2 news, the Lunar New Year Festival is back and has 2 more weeks to run. They had a Chill Dungeons and More night on Friday, trying the festival activities. New weapons set this year, fireworks, and a reminder that Mandatory Fun Night is still happening every Monday night.
And over in Lord of the Rings Online, it is a new year. We are halfway through January, and that means one of the best events is almost here. The Ill Omens Skirmish event will run from February 2nd until February 27th. Let's group up and earn some pets and other rewards. And with all that out of the way, let's get back to Kelsier and talk about Final Fantasy XIV, which we've already been talking about.
Yeah, let's talk about it some more.
Yeah.
More. Yeah. We just got patch 6.3. I think 5 or 6 days ago, and it's been as usual with Final Fantasy 14 patches. It's been huge, and it's not even all out yet because they break it into like sub patches. So we continued our story of our main character trying to find what to do with his life in his retirement after saving the universe.
Right.
And as a character said in game, it's like, I thought you would keep your escapades closer to home to start with after going to the edge of the universe.
Right.
But you didn't.
Nope.
And I'm also struck the amount of characters as you're running around the world saying, "Didn't you just save like the entire world? What are you doing?"
Yeah. Shouldn't you be like living on an island somewhere? It's like, I'm doing that too.
Doing
And
that.
that's not what you do during retirement.
Yeah.
We've already been maxed that one.
Yeah. Next. And as a great Redditor said, we got 0 character development this patch, aka character development for the character we met in the previous patch named Zero.
That's funny.
so
That's
bad.
hilarious.
It's really bad, but it's also great.
Yeah.
Yes,
Um,
great character. It's good to see. I like the very specific things about that character's aesthetic being in the game. That's pretty cool.
I
And it's
love
kind of
every
refreshing to have a. Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
It's kind of refreshing to have a character in there that's not like, yeah, let's do it.
Right.
You know?
The thing I really appreciate is like every time, for lack of a better term, they're having a deep thought. It just kind of pulls down the brim of her hat and
Yeah.
covers
Yeah,
her
I am
eyes.
thinking.
Yeah,
I am thinking.
Yeah. So
I'm having emotions right now.
exactly, I think that's honestly what it is.
Yeah.
I do think that's part of it. Is like, oh, these thoughts are causing me emotions. I gotta rectify this.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've also, it's been cool to have her around because like you said, tries to not be super expressive, but they do a lot with her eyes to show what she's thinking because she's not, and which is cool because you when you think about an MMO, you're not thinking about like characters' eye movements.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And you
they
have
also-
Hildebrand to thank for that.
Yes.
Yeah, which is cool, like that the silly quest let them experiment with their engine more.
Mhm.
With their animations and
Yeah.
And I think I think they're working on they must be working on another collab with Monster Hunter World because they showed a bun getting like ripped in half, like a meat bun getting ripped in half.
It
Yeah.
was so tasty looking.
It looks
That
so
looks
tasty.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
popped it open. There's steam coming off of it.
Mhm.
You're like, oh my god, I want that. That looked.
It's funny to think like a couple patches ago we were all losing our mind because one character took a bite out of bread and now
Right.
they're like actual like with
Yeah.
a bite missing
it
and
apart,
now they're
started
actually pulling
eating
a
it.
bun across.
Yeah.
So basically I think the Meowscular chef from Monster Hunter World is going to come, but that's my
There you go.
but
Yeah.
we've got cat people, they can use that model.
Yep.
And and they've also continued the 24-man raid storyline, which is called Myths of the Realm. Like where we are kind of exploring more about the 12 gods of Eorzea. And as I'm a big fan of this one because it's dealing with one of the big mysteries that's been there since 1.0, which is like, so and I don't think this is spoilers. This is all stuff that's established within like the first 20 levels of the game. But like, it's like, they'll summon, or these tribes of people will summon these primals, which are like arcane creations that are supposed to be gods and stuff. And so does that mean like no gods are real and the 12 might just be primals to people and stuff like that?
Right.
So I'll kind of leave it to like, and the characters even talk about that, like that,
Yeah.
because in 1.0 they
you're
kind
like-
of do get summoned as primals.
Like,
very, very,
aren't
very
you kind
briefly.
of like primals? No, we're not primals.
No.
Yeah.
But you
And-
kind of act like primals, but no, we're not primals.
And like a
I think
character
it's
calls your people out for doing that, like for another character doing that, it's really interesting. But whether they're not what they exactly are and what the storyline, we still don't completely know. But I'll let you guys discover that in the game. It's been really cool.
Yes. Yep.
And like I said earlier, if you like violins and fiddles, I really suggest you do this raid. The music is awesome.
Yes. Very well done.
And if you like music in general, I recommend Final Fantasy XIV.
Yes.
And if you like good video games, I also recommend Final Fantasy XIV. But that's
Pretty much-
yeah.
Pretty much every raid that comes through, even some of the dungeons, the front-end dungeons, they will just come out with these banger tracks, and you're just
I know.
you have no right, and why are you coming out with such good music? This is a dungeon. Why are we jamming? Like,
Yeah,
I know.
I know.
it's like I've had to
great.
learn what the keyboard command /BMG 100 so that like on the fly you can just change it and not have to worry about going into the settings. Like it's like
That's what-
it's like
I'll have to
this sounds
remember that
good.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just they have such good, and it's not just one. I mean, I know everyone likes to heap praise on our one Soken, but
Yeah.
there are other musicians at the company that help
Yeah.
him. So
Yep. Yeah,
but,
that
yeah,
entire team I think is just amazing. They, it's. I mainly listen to Final Fantasy 14 music now.
yeah,
It's bad.
it's very
Hey,
easy to
nothing's wrong
do.
with that.
Nope.
Yeah. And on top of that, there's tons of side content that's kind of come out. It's a little hard to describe exactly what it is if you don't have zero context for the game, but it's all super cool.
Oh,
say,
Like, how do you describe Tataru's grand adventure or expedition?
Spreading fashion across the realm.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you're helping spread fashion across the realm and meeting all your old buddies at the same time.
Which I adore because and you are retreading old stories with this spreading of fashion.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's the most I can say without
seeing
spoiling
how people are
anything.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just I really appreciate the nods, and especially if you've done a lot of this other side content, like it rewards you for the stuff you did over there. So
Yeah, it's a real, like, if you've invested in the world, it pays back, and it's like Jesse Cox was talking about like a like positive fan service where it's not like exploitational fan service. It's like really good fan service where it's like it's just awesome to see all this, like, these people again, and it really pays it all off. I was really surprised that people felt like they had to put in a reward so people would do it, because you get a really sick glamour at the or like a costume from that particular raid quest. But anyway,
the other thing, and I don't think you mentioned it because I almost missed it. After you finish the 8-person story content, go back to Razadan and look over by call it where the security forces are. There's a quest up there.
I can't remember what it is.
To continue if you've done it, or start if you haven't, more information about the 4 archfiends. And that's all I'll say is
cool.
that, like, bring tissues. That stuff is powerful.
Yeah,
Radiant
really
Host.
good.
Thank you, Sasha.
Yeah.
Yep, the Radiant Host.
Yes, some of the revelations that you get in the latest bit of content, you're like, oh, okay. Well, we're going there, are we? Interesting. Okay.
Like, oh.
I kind of want to yin yang the world Grahatia came from and the 13th, and see what would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Judging by every time one of the shards recombines with something, I'm gonna guess this would be something not good.
No, I meant just open a tunnel and let the balance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Open a window, just let the
Exactly.
draft go through.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Well, someone is working on that if you do some more side content, like
Yes.
if you
Oh,
you
yeah.
do all the role quests from Shadowbringers. But anyway, yeah, so tons more story content. In terms of like battle changes that might be interesting to people, like Paladin got a really big rework, which is pretty unusual for mid expansion. It kind of like it
Right.
wasn't in the worst state, but it was one of those. It had a rotation where you were like physical damage, then you do your magical damage, then you do your physical damage and magical damage, and it was so rigid that
Yeah.
if you made one mistake, like your DPS tanked, which
Mhm.
is not
Oh, that's
great.
no fun now. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit weird.
And then, like, also, despite having a shield, like, you'd think they would be the most defensive tank. In some ways, they weren't. Like, their like mini defensive cooldown was actually the worst in the game.
Yeah,
So
like
they
they could, yeah, they were like really good at just straight up blocking stuff, but that was it.
yeah. So if it wasn't blockable, it did nothing.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
Sounds like a warrior.
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay, chat.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is warrior and Final Fantasy completely different. Like,
Oh, I know.
those guys
Yeah.
are the
Protection
strongest healers in the
warrior
game.
Yeah, protection warrior and WoW. It's like, oh shit, coming at me with magic damage. Dang it!
I don't have anything for this.
Shield block, shield block.
I have
Yeah.
one reflect.
Yeah.
It's like, ha, got it. Oh, there's another one. But
Yeah, exactly.
but yeah, so they
cooldown.
Yep.
That was the weird thing. Like, yeah, when they brought when I come in, like I was like, oh yeah, everyone's talking about the paladin change. Oh, there's so much people on either side. And I open up my paladin, I'm like, this looks the same. What am I missing?
Right.
Yeah, if you look at the
And
ability
basically,
window, it's still the same ability.
They gave you one extra button, which was block or bulwark. It's one of them B words.
Right.
Yeah.
But where they basically gave you another mitigation button is all they did, like on the surface, and then you have to look into the actual. You have to read. I know reading is not
Your
always
old
a fun thing to
rotation
do.
won't work no more.
Yeah, no, it's completely different. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the old ways are definitely new. Like if you can try it, and then you'll wonder why things aren't working.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because like now it's like you still have a burst phase, but it's much less rigid, and your magic and physical is more blended together, which I'm a huge fan of. Because I always like the knight, holy spell casting knight kind of aesthetic they had. So yeah, it's much improved. I think most people are either positive or neutral on it, which in terms of a complete class like redo, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
If most
Surprising.
people are just like, yeah, it's fine.
Like people
Or
were
I'm not
jumping into
offended.
the new alliance raid and the new 8-man without having problems with the paladin. So like it wasn't such a shakeup that the paladins were falling over.
Yep, exactly. And they also fixed machinist for high latency players. So because like you'd have this ability where usually the global cooldown is like 2.5 seconds,
Yeah.
and in this specific for this specific set of abilities it was 1.5, and you'd still have to weave a off global cooldown on it, and for high latency, and you had to do it within a very small window,
Yes.
like 8 seconds or something.
Almost always miss that last one. It just happened.
If you have high latency, you're going to miss that last one.
Mhm.
So they fixed that so that you get 5 stacks of this ability, and then you can use it 5 times, and then you're good.
Yeah, because otherwise, like the only people that played machinists were people that had amazing ping.
Yeah, exactly. You can, but more importantly, you can also throw a wrench at people now. So
That sounds fun.
yeah, you can throw a wrench at people, and they'll be like, and can't do as much damage. They do 10% less damage.
Yeah, that throws a wrench in things.
It
If
does.
you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
That's right.
Yep.
I can't dodge either.
I can't dodge anything in Final Fantasy 14, apparently.
As we know,
Well, you need to
Hey,
throw
if
more
you read
wrenches
the
then.
pre-show, if you heard the pre-show, Tet's really good at floor tanking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
It's easy to do on the latest content. They definitely it's not like impossible, but they definitely you got to pay attention. You got to be paying attention. Let's see, and we also got a new map dungeon, which, if you were paying attention to our schedule, is something we at AIE Towers are very excited about because we love our map nights. It's basically like you get these treasure maps, you open a chest, and there might be a portal to a dungeon, and now there's a second dungeon instead of just one, and it's more like boss fight focused rather than like beating up all the trash focused. It
The
was
comment I saw was, "Oh, I guess we have to bring 2 healers now."
which we did last night. Like because like they were intense. Like it was not last expansion. By the end of it, it all gets easy. So we were complacent. We were like, yeah, we're just gonna come in and steamroll this, and we almost wiped it. So I helped Cole heal it. By the end of the night, we had kind of gotten the hang of it. But yeah, it was really cool. And important to a lot of people, we're getting they added a ton of new wards to houses for housing. So I think each server got around 1,800 new
You need it.
houses.
Wow,
Yeah, so like Final Fantasy 14, instead of having like instanced housing, they have neighborhoods of houses. So it great for a community feeling kind of, but not great for if everyone wants a house. So
Yeah,
they
because
expanded
like
on
you
that.
can have
Yeah,
like it's
definitely
neat to
crowded real
have.
estate.
Well, you can have amazing neighborhood wars. It's
Yeah.
kind of funny to look over and see a giant paesa staring at you, and then the next day there'll be a row of tanks pointing at the paesa, and neat, amusing stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
and the funny thing is there actually is instance housing in Final Fantasy 14 in the form of apartments, but it's
Yeah.
limited, which is
Right.
Yeah,
I
they
no.
definitely made some mistakes when they were first. Like sometimes you make assumptions at the start of a program when you're creating a program, and those come to haunt you for the rest of your days.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
they did better
definitely.
than Final Fantasy 11, which is very haunted by their original decision.
So many original decisions, including play online.
Yep, which is still there. And that the assumption that there wouldn't be, well, anyway, but nobody cares about that except me. But yeah, and also I think one of the more important things with housing is that they've restarted auto demolition. So I think the reason they're, because people will buy a house and then leave, and they made it so that the houses wouldn't demolish for a really long time now.
Yes.
I think basically since COVID started, which was really cool of them, but also I think I'm glad that it's come back, that auto demolition has come back, because
Yeah.
if you're not playing, there are definitely houses that are just sitting there empty.
Yeah.
Well, and it's someone actually made the interesting comment is now that the way you get housing is a complete lottery, there are people that would not put time into their house now just joining the lottery just because they can. And then they'll get the house and nothing will happen to it because, well, they weren't expecting you to get it anyway, as opposed to the people that were sitting there for 24 hours straight waiting for the house to pop up and try to bid on it. That person's going to put effort into that house because they were sitting there for a day to get it. So
that's so
that
interesting.
so it's good that they finally are doing the auto demo, because now those people that are like, oh, I won, I don't know what to do with it. Now that can go away.
Right.
Yeah, because I think even if you
have
have an active subscription, but you haven't visited your house in 45 days, it'll demolish. So
Correct. Yes.
make sure you go inside your house.
Yeah. You have to actually walk into your door every now and then.
Yeah.
Yep.
To acknowledge the fact that you have a house, use your house to keep it.
Yeah, I actually put in a bid on it's not the same plot, but it's in the same location as our old medium-sized guild house from way back when.
Yeah.
So hoping I'll get a house upgrade. And but good luck to everyone else here that's looking for one as well, because I know some people, like shout out to Kaz, who's been fighting for a house for months now and hasn't won a single lottery. Hopefully she'll get one this time.
Yeah.
That's a little too close to real life, in the real.
I know, it kind of is.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm glad
Kinda
that
rough.
I'm glad they were able to add more plots there, but yeah, that's a bit too close to home, literally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. And we got a new PvP arena for a Crystalline Conflict, which is our Final Fantasy's really fun PvP mode. And this is, as a person who does not like PvP, I actually enjoy
That's
Crystalline
interesting, yeah.
Conflict. So if you're thinking about PvP, I would definitely give it a shot. It's short and sweet, I think, is the important part of it. It's like typically matches end at 5 minutes, and I've only had one ever go 10 minutes because we were so evenly matched, but that's really rare.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and then also Island Sanctuary updates, which I think we kind of Tets was talking about earlier. It's kind of it's a housing light system, and Animal Crossing light as well. And if you've ever wanted a farm of marbles,
Yes.
Your
You
your
freak.
time has come because you freak.
As
because
that killed me in the notes.
yeah, because you can now farm more, or you can now capture marbles for your farm.
Yeah. Good luck,
Um,
but
yeah, and that is all to say that nobody cares about any of that stuff because the most important update from this patch is that now when you walk into rain, you have the option to automatically get your umbrella out
I
in Final
need to
Fantasy
do that.
14.
I love
Even
that.
We have some
yeah,
amazing umbrella tech now. It is
Yeah.
crazy.
you can even hold it like in a bunch of different positions and
Do a little
like
dance.
you can go and interact with with like the market board and stuff and not put it away. It's a magical time.
That's
Nice.
fun. Oh my gosh.
No more
But
getting wet at the
wait,
market board.
yep. But wait, there's more because that's just patch 6.3, and usually Final Fantasy 14 has like 3.1 or 6 or 0.31, 0.35, and 0.38. So, so more stuff is coming. We're getting a new ultimate raid, which is like the super duper highest difficulty raid that difficulty we only get like 2 per expansion because they're super annoying to make, I imagine.
Yeah,
Only
yeah.
your you
I'm
you
sure,
have to have
yeah.
employees that are pro enough to play the
Well,
stuff you're writing.
And imagine the race to World Force Mythic raid in WoW, but it doesn't matter what gear you have. It
Yeah.
is all skill.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Completely skill.
Yeah. You have to be good at pattern you have to be good on your feet and at pattern recognition.
Yeah, what you tells? You want tells? No, there's no tells. No,
No.
you
No.
just
You have to know. You have to arbitrarily know to be right here at this arbitrary time based on this arbitrary
dance
event.
this way, and face that way, do this thing, the little shake,
Yeah.
That sort of stuff.
Way beyond my skills. We're getting another deep dungeon, which is kind of I don't know. I never know the best way to describe deep dungeons. It's like a semi-randomized dungeon.
It's a roguelike, a procedural roguelike.
Yeah, roguelike, like a good version of Torghast, basically.
Yeah. We're getting a new one of those called Eureka Orthos. So if you like your Allegan lore, and I love my Final Fantasy lore, 14 lore period, so I'm excited because we're gonna get more of that. Somehow further at Hildebrand Adventures, so everyone's favorite wacky inspector is coming back for more adventures, and with that we'll get more upgrades to our relic weapons, which are tied to those quests. We're also getting relic tools for our crafters and gatherers coming as well.
Is that tied to Hildebrand?
No, it's separate. That one is going to be at the Crystalline Mean in the last expansion's main city.
Okay.
You'll get to interact with Geralt's reflection, which I'm really excited about because I've always wanted to do more with him.
Yeah.
What would he be like if he doesn't have a Rowena chasing after him constantly?
Exactly.
Right? And then new tribal quests. I don't know if saying what that is or what if that's a spoiler or not, but
hopefully no one can see the spoiler that's in the screen.
Well, it's the Loporits. There we go. I said it.
No!
If you want to if you want to complain about my spoiling, make sure to email Tets at
I guess
I reached
probably,
you're at.
It's just out of frame, so it's out of spoiler. But I do have a Lolliprit watching me as I podcast above.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out. I'm like, wait, what's this? No, what? No,
I don't know. I don't know what's a spoiler anymore.
No, that's if you aren't.
No, they talked about it before the expansion came out. So
yeah, that's true. You're right. Okay. So yeah, the Loporits, the cute bunny people, you're going to be helping them on your crafting classes, and this will help me finally get all my crafting classes to level 90. From the previews, it looks like it's going to be bonkers. So I swear what you're building looks like a mall. So
It'll be fun.
So we get to make a nice fantasy mall. And I'm probably still skipping stuff because it's
there's so much.
There's new mounts, new pets. You can get a corgi now. And new stuff in the gold saucer. Huh?
A nightclub?
Nightclub?
Oh no!
That's the Loporits is making a nightclub.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, it does look like it might be a nightclub.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
A mall, nightclub,
Which-
mall, same
It
thing.
wouldn't surprise me because there already are nightclubs in the game. You just
Yeah.
have to go to
Yeah.
the residential ward. They're everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah,
But,
that was gonna be one of my jokes with the like what your character trying to find something to do with his retirement besides go to the RP clubs.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, they
Um,
are getting huge. Like they have DJs, like legit DJs going to
yeah.
these RP venues now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I might
So-
have to go to one of these things because I don't understand. Like
Bro.
like every time people talk about this, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But
Ro
I was never into Second Life. So.
Ro runs a night gambling establishment
Mhm.
in game, and it's like you're betting millions of gil when you're in his establishment, and yeah. So if you the podcast they do, a podcast reborn. He talks about it, but yeah, it's all red themed because he's playing a red
That's
mage,
hilarious.
and yeah,
Mm.
it's crazy. And he went through.
Yeah.
This is the level of dedication. He went through and got however many cards. What are those cards called?
The triple triad cards.
Triple triad cards. Yes, he collected the first 300 or whatever you need to collect to get the emote, the make it rain emote. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He went through and
That's
did
funny.
all that and got him. So he has that for his RP sessions. It's amazing.
That's
That's
hilarious.
Yeah.
Dedicated.
Yes.
And I think the only other thing I've missed from this is you get another quest line where you're talking in Shadowbringers. There are these people that were turned into leaf men
Right.
that you would see across this one zone.
Yep.
And if just them existing wasn't creepy enough for you, one appears to try to be coming back to life.
Oh my.
And is talking now, and you're trying to help him restore his memory so he can return to his former self. The leaf men just continue to get more and more horrifying. Those things seriously like creep me out. Like they,
Especially because the pixies keep talking to him.
Yes.
yeah, like oh, I was trimming you, haha.
You're
Oh,
like,
how do you like your sheep now? Are
Yeah.
we taking good
Alright.
care of them?
Your
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
sheep have been eating your leaves. Like what?
yeah.
At least, I guess, in a way, this has helped me a little bit because it sounds like they're not just stuck there feeling as Leafman like alive. Because it sounds like he feels like he hasn't been alive the whole time, or at least conscious. So that makes me feel a little bit better. Because I was like, are these Leafmen like a I have no mouth and I must scream kind of
Right, yeah.
situation?
Yeah.
Because they kind of made it
Multiple
sound
men.
like it might be that
Yeah.
when you were exploring that zone. I was like, oh god. But yeah, so tons of content coming on in 14, lots of events going on. So if you've ever thought about jumping in, now is always it's always the perfect time. So just hit us up in Discord.
The perfect time was when Realm Reborn 2.0 launched. The next perfect time is now.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
And come take your chocobo for a walk.
Yeah.
Please.
It is funny, like I never played a lot of MMOs like consistently for their entire run, and like I think there was only a 2-month window where I wasn't subscribed to Final Fantasy 14 in the last almost 10 years. It's such a weird feeling,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that this game has been a part of my life, so like a third of my life almost.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about Yoshi P and trying to do what's he working on? He's also working on 16
Yes.
Yeah.
at the same time. Yeah.
I know. I hope he's getting sleep.
Exactly. Well, not when they do 14-hour developer talks. Good lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Insane.
I know.
And they do new patch talks. Like that's crazy that they jump on stream as the patch is being applied to his servers.
Yes.
So
I know. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got on Final Fantasy 14.
Awesome.
Awesome. That's a lot.
Yep.
I know.
yeah, we have more than enough. Lots of catch up for the new year, and lots of catch up for Final Fantasy 14.
Mhm.
Well, we've definitely talked enough about that, so we'll go ahead and end the show there. While the chat room begins suggesting show titles, hey chat room, show titles. We want to thank Kelsir for joining us. So thank you, Kelsir, for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be back.
Yes. definitely. We will pull you on again soon.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll try to have a more lengthy what I've been doing next.
No, you're fine.
I
Yeah,
had
no,
all
we're
these
good.
things
We're
and I
good.
didn't write it down, so it all went
It all went
whoosh.
bye-bye. That's
No
okay.
That works. Yeah.
That's quite all right. It happens.
Yeah.
So if you have questions or comments for the show, you can email us at podcast@aie.org at gmail. You can follow us on Twitter. The show is at the AIE Podcast. Or sorry, just at AIE Podcast. Pardon me, no the. Mew, on the other hand, he does have the at the Mew Cow. I am at Cyberwave, and Tet is at Ivory Tiger. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us on our website, aie-guild.org, podcast-live-stream, and look for the Discord server at https:// you know how that goes, aie-guild.org. For past episodes, you can find them on our YouTube channel. Just look for the AIE Podcast. Our theme, as always, was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys of Soul or visit his website, andrewallenmusic.com.
And as always, if you have a member segment, short 1 to 2 minute audio clip that you want to send in and have us play on the show related to activities in the guild, things your characters have been doing, let us know. Send it in and we will play it on the air.
All right. Let's see. A little extra note here. We are working on getting our podcast schedule set for 2023. If you have something you want to come on and talk to us about, contact us. We aren't sure who our guests will be next show, but we will let you know when we know. So until then, AIE.
This is Kels here.
This is Mukau.
This is Makala.
This is Tetsemi.
And this has been the AIE Podcast.
Bye.
Yay!
Bye!
Ooh.
All
Hey,
right.
y'all. We still know how to podcast.
I know.
Woo!
We did a podcast. All right. Chat room.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I forgot
next.
to press record. No, I'm just kidding.
No. That's why I always have people looking over my shoulder.
Yeah, Max's comment. Yeah, it reminds me, when sitting in the Guild Wars 2 Lion's Arch, you just hear that character saying that line over and over.
More violence.
More violence. Less
less
violence.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, you're right. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. When you were saying violins and fiddles, I kept thinking violence and fiddles. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I was not
I
the
know.
only one.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I think that's the show title. I think violence and fiddles.
Yeah, no,
is-
it's great.
Yeah, it is great.
All right. Well, thank you, chat room. As always, we'll see you in 2 weeks. So,
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
bye.
2 weeks.
Bye, chat room.